everybody. Diver, thank you. What you presented was the spiritual part of what we do. What I'm going to talk about today is the physical part. Many years ago, I was in a class, and we discussed Hermetic principles. So what I've got here are the 7 Hermetic principles we're going to talk about today. The first one we're going to talk about is mentalism. As mediums, as healers, we deal with mentalism all the time. But here's what they had to say. The principle of mentalism is reflected in the biblical question, in the beginning was the Word. Ultimately, all external reality is based on an idea or a concept. In the context of quantum physics, mentalism means the physical world can be reduced to patterns of potential connections among potential concentrations of matter, energy, that might or might not come into form. Depending upon the introduction of consciousness, 20th century physicians and consciousness researchers are thus on the edge of unraveling the implication of mentalism that Hermetic initiatives have known all along. Now anyone can grasp its meaning. The basic force in the universe is mental. All right, would you like me to sum this up?
Yes.
I will sum it up. This is what science has deemed as mentalism. When we as spiritualists deal with mentalism, we deal with a spiritual aspect in regards to what we feel, we see. But a table has energy. We deal with energy. We deal with movement. All the movement, the energy we deal with is going at different speeds. And that way, say this table, the energy, which is part of mentalism that we're with, the energy is going at a very low speed. Our bodies, you have a little more to them, will go at a different speed. Take something like ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light travels at a very high speed. So think of it as we as mediums, healers, we work with energy. Do we see it? No. Is it there? Absolutely. Do we feel it? Yes, we do. Can we work with it? Absolutely. We see things in our mind, not necessarily with our eyes. And that's what we as spiritualism do. One Hermetic principle is mentalism. You can visualize what you want and let it come to fruition. The next one is correspondence. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, means that one can infer the nature of distant realms from local experience. The dynamics of cells are parallel to the dynamics of galaxies. Just as a small laboratory or computer program can simulate the behavior of the stars billions of light years away, the consciousness of an individual being can confer with the ultimate consciousness that exists when there was only the Word. The principle endures. For example, that humans need not dread exposure to the idea of, say, extraterrestrials. They're derived from the same universal consciousness. We've always talked about other people out there that communicate with us. This is what they call as correspondence. There is someone out there just like us, or different. The third one is vibration. The principle of vibration would assert that something is in continual motion. It is now a basic tenet of science. Subatomic particles are continually moving in relation to each other in every concentration of energy and mass in the universe. The patterns of vibration occur in all manifestations. From dense stone to gaseous molecules to the thoughts and emotions of human beings, we have intuitively grasped the validity of the process. We get good vibes. Is that better? About this. When we think about it, we go somewhere and we're walking down the street and somebody walks by, it's like you either get something good or you touch their energy and just get a bad feeling. That's what they're talking about with vibrations. We're sensing the vibrations that are going on around us. Has anyone ever experienced some of these different principles that I've talked about? Okay. Polarity. Polarity embodies the truth of two seeming opposites. And they're true complements that differ only in degree. They have verse and reverse sides of the same thing. Let's use that as a magnet. Two opposites. If you look at negative and positive, if you take positive, what's going to happen? It's going to repel. The negative and positive, it's going to go together. We have male and female. Anybody else think of any opposites? Good and bad? Yeah. Small and large, high and low, black and white, sharp and dull, male and female. The next one is rhythm. Rhythm means that everything manifests itself in a pattern of to and fro. Up and down and in and out. The movement in one direction is always compensated by a return. For every action, there is a reaction, and for every advance, there is a retreat. The principle applies in all affairs of the cosmos, of the stars, beings, mind, energy, and matter. It works in the interaction within a plane, the communications between dimensions. One can be transmuted into the employing of the principle of polarity. The next principle, the principle of rhythm, If we look at our lives and we look at everything around us, they're talking about words. But what we deal with is we deal with objects, we deal with consciousness, but someone speaking to us, energies around us, doing all the different manners. Next is cause and effect. Cause and effect is more commonly known by its ordinary meaning. X acts and Y causes Z. It causes synchronicity. Everything we're talking about is balance on cause and effect. So say, for instance, you push someone down a hill, right? So what's going to happen? They have to go back up, right? Say, for instance, can anybody else think of a cause and effect?
If one pushes that person, it's not just affecting that person who was pushed, it's affecting the person who pushed them. So it's a ripple effect that continues, and that will continue until it dies out.
And the last one, gender. It is they say it's the most, has remained the most obscure because we tend to equate gender with primary physical sex characters. However, every human being and every plane in the cosmos contain the dual elements of yin and yang, female and male. The term gender recognizes the one aspect, it recognizes the complementariness within all self-contained units of the universe. These 7 principles are simple keys of the mysteries of matter, energy, spiritual mind, and consciousness. They can open the gateways through which a profound transformation of conscious life becomes possible. This book is an argument of the undertaking of such a journey. I presented the 7 principles. And after looking at them and reading them, it's kind of hard to understand it. But if we go out as spiritualists in our life and we look around and we have some of these principles in our head, you notice that everything has to balance. Up, down, black, white, positive, negative. If you look at nature, some of the ways nature balances it, we have a heating spell, we have dry, we get rain, wet and dry. Does anybody think of anything else they've kind of experienced through their travels? Opposites, anything that, everything has to do with hermetics. I'm set. I have to tell you, when I came here, Spirit was all over the place, and now I got to the written word, and it's like, it's better to let Spirit lead you on what you need to hear.